Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. I hope you're all having a great day. It's big. We have started the playoffs. 10 races heading into what could be our first ever Cup Series championship. A lot of drama in Daytona, seeing Denny Hamlin come up short of the victory after Christopher Bell was able to win the race, and there was a lot of controversy about it because of course the goal was to get Hamlin in victory lane. Joe Gibbs shared his thoughts.
It's unfortunate Denny didn't make it in his final year, but I would never want one of my drivers to just lift off the gas with that kind of lead and pull over. We have no issues with what Christopher did.
And there you hear Joe Gibbs' reaction. You see Denny Hamlin in a throwback paint scheme. He is going to be doing the same idea of Kevin Harvick, where he's going to be running a throwback paint scheme in the final 10 races of the season. The difference was in season 1 of our career mode, Harvick was in the playoffs while Hamlin wasn't. So, you see the playoff grid on your screen right here. Due to the regular season championship going to us, a very lucky one due to the Hendrick Motorsports penalties, we come in as the top seed, 3 stage wins, 3 race wins as well, but of course we have the surprise names like the Chase Briscoe, the Carson Hocevar, and a few others as well, and that took big names out of the playoffs that should have been there, that were in the top 16, including Tyler Reddick, who was in the top 10, Bubba Wallace, who was the second highest up inside the top 16, Denny Hamlin would have also made it into the playoffs. So those 3 guys certainly got screwed by the system of the win in you're in kind of deal here. As you can see, our practice times at the end of this practice session to kick this playoff off from Atlanta. Not expecting a great qualifying, but we have a heck of a round of the playoffs here. This first round of the playoffs consists of Atlanta, Talladega, and then Watkins Glen. 3 completely different types of tracks, and then we have Kansas, Martinsville, Charlotte Road Course in the second round, Dover, Darlington, Miami in the round of 8, and then the championship 4, where the championship is decided at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So it's going to be a heck of a playoff, a challenging playoff. I think the most challenging we've had so far here. Out of turn 4, down the front straightaway to the line. We barely beat the goal with the 29.605, but that only puts us smack dab in the middle of the field, P20. Not exactly where you want to be, but yeah, it is what it is there. As we'll look at the rest of the qualifying order. Tyler Reddick, of course, after missing the playoffs, is going to be on pole position. Byron's up there as the highest playoff driver. Larson a little ways down in P15, of course, and then Alex Bowman in the playoffs with the win in Iowa in P21. As you see the rest of the grid there, all the way at the bottom, Zane Smith in that number 21. We had some Xfinity Series racing as well this weekend from Kansas, where Christian Eckes picked up the victory over Sheldon Creed. So that is another new driver locked into the playoffs, and that puts Connor Zilisch, the Trackhouse Xfinity driver rookie, as the last driver in the playoffs on points. I'll show some updated points on that going into the next episode, as that will be the Xfinity Series regular season finale in the next one. You see the rest of the order on your screen, of course, now, but let's get ready to kick off the playoffs here in the Cup Series from Atlanta.
It's playoff time here in the NASCAR Cup Series. The round of 16 kicks off here from Atlanta Motor Speedway, as we have a very diverse round of racing in front of us, guys.
Following today, we have Talladega, and we all know anything can and will happen there. If you come out of today 20 to 30 points below the cut line, it is not over yet, simply due to that race next week.
And then a road course at Watkins Glen to close the round out, guys. We see many guys succeed at road tracks and many struggle. This round is going to see some big names out of the playoffs, making winning today even more important.
All right, guys, thanks everyone for the hard work all season long. Regular season champs, of course, we had a bit of help, of course, with the Hendrick situation, but thank you guys, thank you. Let's have a strong playoff.
We've had a lot of rough breaks this year, mate, but let's focus on these 10 races and chase that championship.
And there you hear on the radio myself, as well as James Small. Here's a little bit of radio from Chase Elliott.
Thanks for the work this year, guys. Let's go get us a win today.
Elliott, well up inside the playoff situation, only 1 win on the season, however, and I did correct not Christopher Bell, I corrected Justin Haley, who had only 2 wins after Canada, not 3. Thank you in the comments for correcting me on that here. Now, as we are racing, the first race of the playoffs is underway, and Tyler Reddick leads the field to the green, the non-playoff driver now, as the playoffs go on, and we get closer to the elimination races of each round. I'm going to start showing some live point situations at the end of stages, but for the first race of each round, we're not going to bother. We're just going to let the race play out and see what the situation is at the end of the day leading into the final 2 races of each round. But the round of 16, of course, 4 drivers will be eliminated at the end of this one in 3 races time after Watkins Glen, and that will leave us with just 12 drivers to go. And there is some speculation, if you guys watched the last season update video, that this could be the last season of the playoff elimination format. There is a potential of moving to the 10 race traditional chase format that we used to see back in the day, but it is still very possible that this playoff format remains. We'll have to wait and see as time goes. We'll probably get a better idea around the middle of the playoffs here. Now, as we have made no ground so far, we got 20 laps here to work with in stage 1, but I've been stuck on the outside. Not really much of an opportunity to get to the inside, but eventually that would happen as Denny Hamlin would be past me, but we are going to stay right here with them as we're both going to get a run on John Hunter Nemechek. Now, we split him 3 wide in the middle there. He drops back and up into P21. We just continue to follow Hamlin up to this group of cars in front of us. We're going to run down as well our first playoff driver and make the overtake here around the outside of Alex Bowman. Of course, Colleague Racing's only playoff entry, and it's the same car that they had in the playoffs last season, just with me behind the wheel. Bowman's future already solidified at RCR in that 3-car expansion that they're going to be doing. So here we are now going 3 wide up the inside, 14 to go in stage 1. Bubba Wallace out of the playoffs. Hamlin, of course, not in the playoffs either. 3 Joe Gibbs Racing cars, however, in the playoffs. But Hamlin's both of his cars out of the playoffs when they both had enough points, at least, to get in here now, as we as well have now passed Carson Hocevar, who's in the playoffs from his Brickyard 400 Indianapolis win, and we passed Kozlowski, who appears to be struggling early on in this race, and now Chase Briscoe. You see this big clump of cars right here, but now caution actually is going to come out on the racetrack as we have made it already up into the 12th position. Chris Buescher currently leads the way. We're going to make a very slight adjustment there and add some grill tape from 35% to 40%, 4 tires, and this will put us all in a position with enough fuel to get to the end, as it was actually JJ Yaley for Rick Ware Racing in the 51 blowing a tire. It's going to be the end of the day as well for him. You see a little bit of shuffling as well in the pit lane for positions. Now we'll start behind Shane Van Gisbergen, 2 wins on the season for SVG, and of course his first full-time Cup season. He jumps up to the outside, and a big stack up in front of us there on the top lane, so SVG made a terrible decision. We are in good shape there up the inside now of the number 5 of Kyle Larson. How about Todd Gilliland in the 34? He was so close to making the playoffs after his Daytona 500 win, but Chase Briscoe just had enough at the end of the season to beat him. However, it's not the end of the world for Todd Gilliland. He has showed promise in a car that has had signs of life, but of course nowhere near the consistency he needs. But his future is of course certain at Penske Racing in the number 2 cars. Austin Cindric, his future is now on the line to be determined here, as we are making some big headway, passing all those cars, including the 24 and the 27 of Sammy Smith for Andretti Global. Look at Larson slicing through traffic. Justin Haley, Chris Buescher just in front of us. Buescher led at the restart, now down to P5 is Ross DeBoss Chastain out in front here, looking for a bit of that momentum to kick off the playoffs. We now pass Haley for P6, and I'm pretty confident and happy so far with the speed in this number 19 Topgolf Toyota Camry. I would be presented with an issue, however. You see with 7 laps to go in the stage, a temp going up a little bit here now, enough to be a bit of a warning about it. So we definitely got to take the grill tape off, but it should be able to hold on here, hopefully, to the end of the stage. Now, Elliott would get past me on the inside, so we drop down to 8th place, crash in front. I don't know who that is. It's a 45. Elliott involved, and we're involved as well. We crash into the infield grass, and Elliott takes a big impact on the outside while the caution is out of nowhere. The 45 blows a wheel on the exit of the corner and causes a multi-car incident. I couldn't see anything, and then I tried to turn out of it, but I still hit him. I got a bit of damage for sure.
Okay, bring it to us. We'll fix it up here.
So we're going to pit. Reddick as well, obviously, is going to pit, but the reason I actually pitted was not because there was damage. There was a little bit of damage, but I was expecting, because there was contact under a caution, that my car was not going to take off on the restart, so we were just going to plummet down the order anyways. However, I was wrong. My car actually takes off, so I've certainly made a mistake pitting here now, and you can see a big stack up, however. So we get back underway, and at this point I'm like, okay, well, we just screwed ourselves. So what I'm going to do now is quite simply back off the throttle here, as you can still see some stacking up. You got the 67 of Trevor Bain there for 2311 Racing in the field today. You can see him a few rows up in front. But I decided, okay, we only got 3 to go. I'm not going to get to the top 10, so I am just quite simply going to back way down here in these final 2 laps and just save my tires, so that way I can stay out at the end of the stage and be leading for stage 2, or at least second place, because we know Reddick's probably in the same situation. So final lap here of stage 1 is Chris Buescher, who gets the stage win over Larson, Chastain, Byron and Blaney, all in the top 5 playoff drivers. Of course, there we cross the stripe, it'll be P39, so we're the last one to cross the line. And now you can see Sammy Smith, he's going to be staying out, and Reddick as well. So I think we're actually going to be P3 for the restart here in stage 2. Which, I mean, overall could work. There's only about 2% wear on the right rear, 1% wear on every other tire, so there shouldn't be too much issue with this strategy, but of course there's only one way to find out. So we will stay out, and sure enough, row 2, P3 here, Reddick, Smith, the front row there, as of course 2 non-playoff drivers head the field. As we go green for stage number 2, Chris Buescher wins the first stage of the playoffs now, and we are underway for the second stage. Kyle Larson just behind. You see all the yellow windshield banners on all playoff cars now. Of course, we'll look forward to seeing which 4 are going to lose their playoff banner. Chase Elliott is all the way at the back of the grid there. Not quite sure what went on, but certainly a slow pit stop for the number 9 team. It's been a bit of a rough start to that race for them, as now to the inside we go of Tyler Reddick, and to the lead here we go in Atlanta now as we exit 4, bringing Larson with us. I think that 5 car's got one of the fastest cars here today, so definitely got to watch out with 31 laps to go still in stage 2. We got a lot of racing here. Green flag pit stops could be a thing, as we are going to clear everybody on the exit of turn 2, though we wash up the track. Here comes Larson. He gets to my inside, and into turn 3 he's going to clear us, and he's going to bring his Hendrick teammate of William Byron through on the inside. And how about the 14 of Chase Briscoe? He shouldn't be in the playoffs. He got here on a win in Pocono, and here he is with the consistency, the speed, up in the top 5. He ran great in Daytona. He's been showing signs of improvement in what will officially be the final season for Stewart Haas Racing. We wash way up the track there, but fortunately just keep it out of the wall. But I would lose a bunch of time, including everybody else behind me. Christopher Bell now just behind us, but we would actually maintain the gap to the cars behind, but I wasn't really gaining anything on the cars in front. So next thing you know, I'm in a bit of a island of my own situation here now, as you can see me hitting the apron. But here comes a surprise car that's coming through the field, and that's the 43 of Eric Jones. We have pulled away from everybody else but this 43, and we are reeling in the 14 now, but we're not reeling in the top 3 drivers of Larson, Byron, as well as Chris Buescher, sorry. As you can see, that 43 is going to go around my outside there. I really had nothing for Eric Jones. Green flag pit stops kicking off here, starting lap 15, coming to the end of lap 14, and you can see in the track map everybody's heading into the pit lane. We have been bitten by pitting early too many times, so I am going to stretch this run out a bit. And we come in now at the end of lap 15 with the field light on. I could have maybe gone one more lap, but everybody at this point is pitting, so we are in a safe zone to actually pit, and we're not going to get royally screwed. So we're going to come in and not make any adjustments. I'm happy with the way the car is driving, and now we're on fully equal tires. I know there was only 1% more wear, but it felt like enough to make a difference. So now we're on dead even tires, and a great stop. Byron gets out in front, but look at this. We're out in front of the 43 of Jones quite comfortably, and the 14 of Briscoe had a quite slow stop. He loses 2 spots there, and here comes, I believe that's Buescher. Yes, that's Buescher rounding turn 2, as we will re-enter the track down the back straightaway. And Kyle Larson is just now making a pit stop as well, and I think he as well might have had an issue. I'm not sure exactly what, but I mean, we're going to come around. We're already on the same lap as the 5 car, so we're going to pass him now for position, and Byron Busher, myself, are going to go 1, 2, 3. We've made a heck of a gain here, obviously, but something's gone wrong with the 5 because we're going to come around another time, and that 5 car of Larson's still in the pits. He's just now exiting. Kyle Larson just went a lap down. What's gone wrong with the 5 team? So Larson's now 1 lap down. He's back on track and in the race, but obviously he's hoping for a caution sooner rather than later so he can get back on the lead lap. But I have no idea what just happened with the 5 of Kyle Larson. Crash in turn 3. Austin Hill blows a tire, and around he goes. Logano getting a piece of it as well, one of the playoff drivers. And there you go. Everybody's going to be staying out except for Tyler Reddick, who pitted a bit earlier, and Kyle Larson would get the lucky dog. So Larson's back onto the lead lap, but still wondering what in the world happened for the 5 to find themselves in that kind of scenario. But we're going to get back underway from racing here. Lap 22 of 32 here in stage 2. So 11 laps to go still. Byron Busher, the front row. Eric Jones just behind. Ryan Priest even up in the mix as well. He ran well earlier this season in Atlanta now, as we'll clear the 17 and we'll show the nose on the 24. But no, he stays clear. He's going to actually pull away down this back straightaway. So we'll get tucked in behind him. And on the front straightaway, here's our opportunity. 10 laps to go on the stage. Lunging to the inside of the Valvoline number 24 Chevrolet Camaro for Hendrick Motorsports. Into turn 1, we look in the rear view mirror. Eric Jones side by side with Chris Busher as we exit turn 2, side by side with the 24, and he would not give it up. He would hang on my right rear through 3 and 4 and continue to claw his way back as we cross the stripe. And now we got 4 cars under a blanket for the lead. Myself, Byron, Jones, Busher down this back straightaway 2 by 2, looking like a next-gen plate race here, just with 4 cars only as we continue this battle. But we sail it through 1 and 2 and lunge into the front and clear the 24 of William Byron now down this back straightaway. So to the lead here from Atlanta with under 10 laps to go in stage number 2. Still a lot of racing to go, but out of turn 4, washing up the track, and now here comes Eric Jones. He pounces on it to the inside, and now 7 to go in stage 2. Jones to the lead, and he's going to bring the 17 of Chris Busher with them here now. As I'm pushing hard, we're washing way up, and we have to lift, and that's going to allow all 3 of these guys to get through, and down to P4 we go. We have a comfortable gap to the cars behind. It's just us 4 racing for the lead at this point now. Kyle Larson trying to claw his way back through, as now to the inside of the 24 again we go, coming to 3 to go in stage number 2. Caution comes out just moments after we get our nose in front of Byron. That's going to end the stage. Non-playoff driver, Legacy Motor Club driver Eric Jones wins the stage. Highest playoff finisher Chris Busher in both stages, of course. We'll get a look at the caution. Everyone's going to pit for 4 tires as well as feel. And it was actually Trevor Bain for 2311 Racing, his first race in a while. A big impact on the outside wall as well. Multiple cars joining him. And look at this. Logano and Bowman have elected to stay on the racetrack for the start of stage 3. 3 drivers have been struggling the most out of the playoff field, and it's been Logano, Bowman, as well as Shane Van Gisbergen. And those are the 3 names that have not had a good race so far. They've been just down the order, not running well. Well, now the 22 and the 16, they've given themselves track position, but they don't have tires like the other, well, 37 or 36 cars left on the track do. As now we go through the inside, we'll force the issue on the 43, put him 3 wide in the middle, and now we'll be to the inside of Alex Bowman here into turn number 3. Busher on the outside. Jones gets in line behind us. Logano all the way to the top. We're about to be 3 wide for a brief moment, but no, I think Bowman's going to back out of it. Yes, he will. He'll settle in behind that 22 as we continue to cross the line. 35 laps of racing here in stage 3 remain, and into turn 1, we should be able to clear this 22. We shouldn't really have a whole lot to fight with, and there's your answer on that one. We breeze past the Hunt Brothers Pizza Machine, and back to the lead we go here in Atlanta now, as Busher's going to follow through into P2, and he's going to pass me around the outside as I actually clipped the apron, but it would not have mattered. That 17 was rolling the top, and he's going to bring Byron as well with them, and the 43, and here comes Chase Elliott into the equation here as we come to lap 59. Elliott has found something. There is some speed under the hood of that Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet, and Briscoe as well, still running consistent as we actually have a bit of contact right there on the right rear of the 9. Up the track, here goes Briscoe through. Busher leads now over Jones and Byron as we would settle into P6, but Elliott gets past both of those cars in front of him up into second. They have found something in the 9, and look behind us, Hamlin's running pretty well up inside the top 10 right now, but now things have calmed down a little bit. There's a bit of a gap between us and the 17 and the other cars in front, but right here with Briscoe's had a relatively solid car, top 5, top 10 car all day, but he just hasn't quite had enough to hang with the cars in front of him, and as the run goes, he does this. He fades as we start to get a little bit stronger than that number 14 here, looking to re-enter the top 5 on lap 63, coming to 64. The positions from 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, they all continue to battle it out and shuffle it around as Elliott now would be back down to 4th, Byron in 3rd, as we're fully up the inside of the 14 now as we exit turn 4 side by side down the front straightaway, but through turns 1 and 2, can we get the job done? Not quite. Briscoe continues to hold on. Green flag pit stops not terribly far away at this point now. If we get to that point, maybe seeing it 2 times in one race. We cleared the 14 actually there. A little bit of help from the apron to slide myself up in front of the nose of the 14, but into the top 5, 26 laps to go, but pit stops are kicking off. Look at the track map, there they go, and if you pit right now, you are really cutting it close. I don't think you can make it. I think you're going to be a lap or 2 short if you pit right now. So this is bold for anybody electing to pit on this lap, and even lap 69 coming to lap 70 now, and Chase Elliott's going to be one of them. Elliott's into the pits, and I think if you pit now, you're committing to a 2-stop strategy, which just doesn't make any sense. So we come through 3, passing the 47 of Heim, and now Busher is going to come to the pits as well, and I think that anyone that pits has actually hit the outside wall there and do some damage, but we're going to be okay. But I think if you pit on this lap now and after, you're going to be close, but you're going to be okay. But anybody that just pitted before us is not going to make it, I don't think. So they're going to have to rely on a caution, another pit stop, whatever it might be. And now here comes some more cars in front of us. Jones and Byron to the lead we go. We're going to pit at the end of lap 71. Here comes the 31 of Matt DiBenedetto. Just in front of us, you got the 2 Penske Martini paint scheme. You don't see that very often here in this career mode, but I love that paint scheme that Sanok made for us in Cindric. That 31 did not carry, basically ran right through our door. But we're going to come into the pits now, and if we pit, oh wow, actually we cannot make it from here. We might have just made a mistake. Well, I say we make a mistake, but everybody is not going to be able to make it, so we even are going to need a caution to make it on field at this point. So I've been completely wrong on the strategy there. Chase Elliott gets the lead through the pit cycle. We're going to get back on track here, and he's actually got a mirror full of Eric Jones as well as Chris Buescher, but now we know the situation. We also, right now at least, can't make it, but we're close enough to if a caution comes out, we will make it, and there it is. The 31 crashing into turn 1 collects Noah Gregson, and the caution will fly as Matt DiBenedetto crashes all the way through 1, and that is going to put us in an estimated field 1 lap short. When we go green, we will have enough fuel to get to the end. Nobody else is pitting. This is surprising because they all pitted at a point where I just don't think they're going to make it. And now we have 2 3-lap fresher tires than some of these cars in front of us. We have a golden opportunity here. I think we have suddenly propelled ourselves into the favorite to win this race. We're back underway with 16 laps to go, and now we're going to have 18 laps to field. So we are good. We just gained 2 laps. Other cars, they're still really close. I think they're going to be a lap or 2 short still, and now we're just in the perfect situation. So I think that if it stays green, I don't see how we lose this race now as we're behind the 43 of Eric Jones. Buescher leads the way through 3, but like I said, we now have a tire advantage. We saw what a tire advantage does earlier. Even with 1 to 2% extra wear on a set, it made a difference. Well, now we are in the position where we have that extra 1 to 2% on the field. As we go down into turn 1, we clear the 9 of Elliott. Briscoe coming through with him, but look at the run through 1 and 2. We've gotten through here really well all day long, but we really got through there this time compared to the 2 cars in front of us. But Jones, we go up the inside of the 43 through turn 3 and out of turn 4. We'll continue wheel to wheel with this 43, having a great run, and we'll clear him on the exit of turn 2 and immediately a run to the back of the 17 to the inside down into turn 3, wheel to wheel with Chris Buescher. He's been the strongest playoff car all day long, but not strong enough to hold back our advantage to the lead here in Atlanta, hoping for no cautions. Now we'll try to drive away as we go down into turn 1, lap 79. Look at that rear view mirror. Look at the gap open up to the cars behind. We are saying adios. We're out of here now as we continue out of turn 4, coming to lap 80. And now the question is, who can get up here? Who can contend with us? And the answer might be that 43 of Eric Jones. We actually clipped the apron right there. Doesn't hurt us too much, but Jones gets through on the 17, and Kyle Larson's up to 4th. Larson has spent all the race really trying to work his way back forward, and he is now joining the mix, but Eric Jones is actually closing in. Look at the ground he's making up here as we come to lap 82, and now my mirror is back full. The 43 is all over us now, within about 4 car lengths at this point now, trying to make sure, hey, you're a teammate in terms of manufacturer. I'm not in the playoffs, but I'm here to win. Kyle Larson is showing up as well. 9 laps to go, and that 43 is all over us within a couple of car lengths. Larson's gotten to the inside of the 17. He's going to try and complete the pass on Chris Buescher in that number 5 HendrickCars.com machine, and he would be successful. Larson to P3, as now the gap is being well maintained with less than 10 laps to go. I still think there's going to be a lot of cars pitting before this race is over, while we are going to be staying out here to the end of this race. We just need to hope it stays green. Now Jones is close, but he is certainly at bay. He's not able to do anything more than what he is currently doing, so this makes me very confident here as we continue to run the inside in 3 and 4. He goes all the way to the top. He's about to be under pressure from Larson, and that'll make it even easier for me to run away at that point here. Now 6 laps to go in Atlanta, looking to kick off the playoffs with a bang. Green flag pit stops are kicking off. You see on the track map, will they pit behind us? I don't think so. Jones, Larson, they remain on the racetrack, and of course so do we as we cross the stripe. 5 laps to go. Worst case scenario is cars in the pit lane, and then a caution comes out while that's happening, and there it is. The 47's crashing. The worst case scenario, potentially Logano's gonna get in. Chase Elliott as well as Kyle Busch, they're already coming in to make their pit stops. They have maybe just won this race by this situation, because they're going to be taking tires, and everybody behind us is going to pit under caution. So what's the deal here, James? Are we screwed?
The 9 and 99 and others are all taking tyres here. Everyone else is going to pit and take tyres. If we stay out, we will drop like a rock.
Our only option is to pit, and we're going to come in and take 2 tires is all it's going to be. So we're going to be the first one off pit road in this group here, but all the guys that are on the pit road now, 7 cars to be exact, can stay out. We just got screwed by this caution, of course, and so did everyone else on the racetrack now. So being short on fuel ends up being an advantage, because it gives us 2 laps of racing, and Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, still seeking his first win of the season, are out in front, of course. So now these guys all in front of us, they have fresh tires, so we don't have an advantage anymore at all. We need to find a way, and I don't think it's going to happen here. Now, we were setting sail, cruising to victory lane, but of course this season, it's kind of been the story of our season with ill-timed cautions. Now we'll get in front of Trevor Bayne, we'll dive to the inside. Logano looking for a good finish after a rough day. Sammy Smith there, or Chandler Smith, sorry, that is in P3. Kyle Busch second, and Chase Elliott looking to steal victory. He leads the way at the white flag from Atlanta in playoff race number 1 to the inside of the colleague machine, our future teammate in Chandler Smith. As we clear him through 1 and 2, we close in on the cars in front, but you can tell just by the way they roll through 1 and 2, they have 4 fresh tires, and we actually only have 2. So the fact that we're making this big gain is quite impressive, but it's not going to be enough. Through 3 and 4 for the final time, it's Chase Elliott in control. 1 win on the season, while he's going to get his second with winning the first race of the playoffs at home for Chase Elliott, as Busch, myself follow through in second and third. Everybody gridlocked together there, trying to pass the slower cars in front. Elliott gets to burn it down, and we lose another win this season. It was definitely in position to make it happen, as Logano ends up P5, Larson rebounds to P7, Buescher P10 after being the fastest car really all race long. You see the rest of the order inside the top 20 and looking outside the top 20 here as well. You got Todd Gilliland P21. Ty Gibbs, our teammate, quite slow all day long. Never really showed much there as well at the bottom of the grid. JJ Yaley. Looking at the playoff grid, we are nearly a full race to the good, so even after that heartbreak, we're still in good shape. But the 4 drivers out, Shane Van Gisbergen ran rough all day long. He's 14 points out. Same for Alex Bowman, 19 for Hocevar, and Brad Kozlowski ran mid all day as well. He's 20 points out. Big day for Briscoe, 22 above the cut line. And yeah, I mean, this is a stacked playoff grid at times as well, with a few surprise names though, Bowman, Hocevar, and Briscoe. It's going to be hard for a lot of these guys to move on, but Talladega is next. Anything can happen in this first round of the playoffs. I'll see you guys then from Talladega Superspeedway. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.